Reserve strength is your key to becoming a more proficient weightlifter. We're going to talk about the squat today. Front squat, back squat. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks and 3 of our favorite accessory movements to help drive your performance in these areas. If this is your first time here, please subscribe, hit the like button for more weightlifting content. So when we talk about reserve strength, what we're really talking about is what percentage of your back squat are you going to be able to effectively clean and jerk. And so we like to make sure that our athletes are back squatting anywhere from 130 to 135% of their best clean and jerk, or their desired clean and jerk. So in other words, if you want to clean and jerk 200 kilos, you've got to make sure that your 1RM back squat is somewhere between 260 and 270 kilos. And then your front squat should be somewhere around 85% of that number. The first thing to consider when we're talking about the back squat is breathing and bracing. It's really important that you understand how to assign a 360-degree brace. So most people, when they unrack a back squat, their back is tight, but the core is oftentimes neglected. So understanding that the transverse abdominis is really important to recruit. So giving yourself some tactile cues is a good way to make sure you understand how to brace through that TA. So fingers pushed in underneath your rib cage at about a 45-degree angle, push out, relax, push out, see if you can recruit that TA. Second, we need to breathe into our belly. So as you unrack that back squat, you want to breathe into your belly so that you assign this 360-degree brace properly. A really good exercise to incorporate in between squat sets, there's some just basic dead bugs where you're getting in that dead bug position and depressing the lumbar down so you can feel a full 360-degree activation. Pop up, do your next set. Really good to make sure that you mix that up so that you can find that proper breathing and bracing strategy that works best for you. The second thing we want to think about in terms of our back squat is our descent. So as we lower the bar into that deepest bottom position, what I like to consider with my athletes is just understanding where the bar is in relationship to the ankle. We want to make sure that that bar stays lined up over the ankle. So as you descend, keeping the hips neutral, and whatever degree the hips retreat, the knees are allowed to track forward over the toe. Also, in the very bottom of the squat, we need to maintain that tension through your core, that whole 360-degree brace, so it can create a bounce, a stretch reflex off of the hip flexors to be able to facilitate an efficient squat recovery. One final thing to consider on the descent is your elbow position. Your elbows want to track in line with your torso. So we don't want the elbows to come behind the torso or be drifting in front. So lock in with that core pressure and your elbows track in line with the torso. Squatting in and of itself is not enough. We have to have accessory movements that you use in conjunction with your squat routine to really drive performance. So 3 accessory movements that are non-negotiable in our program: hip thrusters. So whether that's dumbbell, unilateral, bilateral, barbell, whatever you can do to put your body in a position where you really feel good glute activation through that hip thrusting movement. Second, any kind of lunge variation. So whether that's a front rack, barbell lunge, whether that's dumbbell, whether that's rear foot elevated, whatever you can do to continue to work to end range through a lunge variation. And then finally, some sort of back extension or hinged movement for the lumbar. So we love the back extension and we love to load it. So don't be afraid to either use a plate in front, a barbell in the back, or bands to start to incorporate more resistance in your back extension variations. Those 3 accessory movements, non-negotiable. We always like to keep those rep and sets somewhere in the hypertrophic rep range, 8 to 12 across maybe 3 rounds. That's going to help you to drive all the performance you need in your back squat. So hopefully that's helpful. If you want to continue the dialogue or you have specific questions, just jump in the comments section and we'll try and get to all of those with responses. If you thought this was helpful, and you want to learn more about our strategies for how to drive a new PR in your squat, head over to californiastrength.com. We have a guaranteed 8-week program that will allow you to test your 1RM, and I guarantee you, if you go through this 8 weeks and you don't hit a new PR, I'll give you all your money back.